Namaste, beloveds. This is Mother with Wisdom, and I'm doing this very unscripted. I just got up. Um, this is a bringing the funk kind of video. It's something that I haven't done before. Well, and from this ancient vein, or from these particular roots that I'm getting ready to share from right now. And this is about what is going on and World War III and understanding that we're in it. And what, from the positive light, what World War III is all about. Okay? World War III is an explosion of expanded conscious awareness, okay, on a global scale for the spiritual collective and for all. And it is coming through from a very primal place. And that place is war. That is the original conflict. That is the original contrast. Okay? That is the original adrenaline rush of passion and compassion. Hear the words, listen to the words. Place your conscious awareness upon me as a conscious being of choice right now in this moment. Listen, not to judge, but to understand only what I'm saying. You can make your judgments later. You can make your discernments later. You can figure out whether you're going to trust what I'm saying later. Figure out how to weigh it later. But right now, listen. 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 Listen with your spirit to what is pouring out of me as life-giving waters. As life-giving waters that will expand your conscious awareness and bring you into a clearer focus and help you establish a deeper channel within your own being, drawing from the sources of the earth roots. And they want me to make it plain that it's about to get real funky up in here. When you go down into the earth and you bring that which has been rooted up, I want you to think of uprooting an ancient tree, lifting it straight up. What comes up from that ground, those roots, it has a smell to it. That is the earth mama's smell. That is the funk, baby. That is the roots. That is the essence. That when a child is born from its mother's womb, it has a smell. That is the funk. And we as a society have gotten so adept in covering up the funk that we do not want to participate in that. That is the fundamental essence of the root chakra, baby. There is no deodorant. There is no washing it away. That is the smell of blood. That is the smell of iron. That is the smell of minerals. That is the smell of war against the earth. That is the earth being exposed and exposing herself. Like I said, listen, listen. This war, this Third World War, has been going on since the Second World War, since the First World War. We are at war with the powers and principalities. That war does not stop even though you think there is peace or that there is diplomatic solutions going on, or what the politicians and the preachers and everybody else tell. Baby, earth is a war zone. When you incarnate here, you incarnate into war. The war is knowing yourself. You are at war with your lower self. And you have to get through, you have to defeat that lower self so that higher self can break free. It's buried in roots. And sometimes them roots are so tangled, baby. And your spirit has got to be the light that shines down there to that spirit, to that soul, to that which incarnated and needs your light, needs your belief, needs your unconditional love to feed it so it can break through and go all the way up to the crown like that Kundalini serpent. Okay? You got to release that snake that was cursed to the belly, to the flow, to the ground. Okay? You've got to redeem it. It has to unlearn what it has learned. And the snake symbiology, that is the wisdom of the Nagas, baby. And they are the deepest of the earth beings. And they are the most conscious and the most cautious. Okay? And I want you to think about that tongue that flickers. That is their senses. It senses the heat. It smells. It touches the air. It does everything that your human body, get your hands and your eyes and everything. That tongue does all of that in a flicker. It tests the air. It tastes the air. It smells the air. And from that, it assesses its world and what is going on all around it and within it. And that is why the serpent is used in the symbiology to teach the human being. And that is why you're told that you have this Kundalini serpent at your root of your spine. Think about that. Listen to that. It's coiled there, and it needs to grow. It needs to be able to rise. You need to be able to erect it. You need to be able to get it up. And you need to be one with the process. You need to be consciously aware of the process that is going on and taking place. And understand that it's not just happening with you, it's happening all around you. In everything, in everybody, seen and unseen. It is shown to you in the nature of things. It is shown to you in the cycle and seasons of things. It is shown to you in the maturation cycle of things. From a child like a little worm on his mama, can't even crawl on the ground yet. Gotta be held. Gotta be toted everywhere. And then you put it down and it crawls on its own until it begins to stand up, till it begins to walk and run and then want to fly. These are ancient concepts. These are ancient sources of conscious awareness that you incarnated to expand upon. And how do you expand upon them? By living, by existing, by observing. What does that mean? That means by falling. That means by making mistakes. That means by being very human. That means by being as funky as you can. And not allowing anyone to shame you in your process. Because you had to hit that funk. You had to dive deep into that funk in order to come up out of it. And you had to be anointed in that funk. Okay? So no matter how freaky, no matter how nasty, no matter how wrong, understand the positive aspects, this polarity that will bring you higher. Do not dwell in the lower aspect of what you have delved into or why you delved into it. Focus and concentrate on, okay, I'm in the root. I'm deep in this root chakra. And it's as funky as it want to be. And everybody is judging me, including me. What's the purpose? The purpose is for you to rise up out of there. For you to know that you have the ability, the capability, the divinity, that you are a spiritual being, capable of overcoming any circumstance, any situation, war itself, war upon war upon the powers and the principalities, baby. If you were not able, it's in your design to overcome this war. And it's taken us billions of centuries to get here. But baby, we're here. And we're calling it World War III this time around. But it has sunk many civilizations that we have in our history. Atlantis, Mu, Lemuria, the Egyptian civilization, the Mayan civilization, the Incan civilization, the European Rome civilizations. I want you to all understand it's one thing. It's the root. It's the pit. It's the abyss. It's the underworld. It's the hell, which is mankind's common grave until you resurrect yourself. And that's what these messiahs, that's what these saviors, that's what these warrior sages are all about. In showing you that you have the passion within you to overcome your roots, this war that is taking place at your root. It's a war to be born. Do you know how many babies die? Do you know how many mamas die in the process? Put it all together. Lay it all on the table and look at it. Let it speak to you. Shut your mind down. Put it out the car. Tell it to shut the hell up. Your mind, baby, that's that poisonous snake. Grab that sucker, okay? Grab it. Right by his head. Grab it. And hold on to it and don't let it control you. Don't let it talk to you. Don't let it fool you. Don't let it whoop your ass. Don't let it infiltrate your soul until you think you have no way out. Do you know how many babies commit suicide because of that fucking snake? Because of that mind. Because of that which is at war with existence within you. And it manifests itself outside of you. And you draw to you the lessons that you need. So it's this snake that's manipulating your space and your time. And when you allow it to do so, baby, it is the most cunning. It is the most wise. But everything has a duality. Everything has a polarity. If that is your shadow, you become the light. You lessen that shadow. Like I said, this body is your vehicle. You grab that sucker and you say, you get out. You sit over here. You ain't driving. You ain't behind the wheel. No more. And when it gets to telling you and overcoming you and filling you with anxiety, that poison, heal yourself by saying, bring in the light. I am peace. I am unconditional love. And everything is everything. I don't have to control anything because it's birthing itself in my awareness of it. And every time I'm more aligned and in touch and able to hear and see what is taking place, I'm able to observe from my spiritual self. That is the deepest of the roots, okay? Those are the roots that can't be seen, but exist. When you observe from that aspect of yourself, then there's nothing and there's no one that you're at war with. And you realize that. And you realize that this is the play, the Maya, the illusion, the hologram, the holographic stations and situations and circumstances that need to be in order for you to expand your spiritual conscious awareness, in order for your spiritual roots, those roots that are still rooted in the celestial, rooted in everything that cannot be unrooted. That's where you're feeding from. That's what's feeding you. And you're grounded and you're anchored. You don't need another man or person or human being to anchor you. You don't need an idea or belief to anchor you. You are anchored, and you know this. No matter the storm that comes, no matter the life circumstance that comes, you have a spiritual awareness that can't be shook, that cannot be uprooted, because it was planted long, oh baby, before the world that you live on, before the galaxy that you exist in. You are rooted to something much deeper than you know. And it is time for you to know these things again about yourself. And the only way for you to do that is to face your World War IIIs and to see them, to see that snake so you can grasp it. If you don't see it, it can bite you, and you got to be able to see it. You got to be able to trace it back to its hole, to its roots. And I want you, Mama wants you to look at things from this perspective, to listen and hear and observe. Before you place any judgments on it, first you got to see it. And first you got to understand what you see, and then you make a decision upon it. But first see it and realize what you're seeing. This energy that started the world wars in our age, in our conscious awareness, in our cycle and seasons is one. And it is rearing its head up at us. It is a dragon that we are facing. But whether you call yourself a knight or you are another kind of dragon yourself, face it. Understand what it wants. It wants to eliminate your roots. It wants to tear you from your roots because it does not understand its own. It does not claim its own roots. Its roots are its mind. That's what it's rooted in. In the spiritual essence of conscious awareness, it is rooted only in itself. And itself is limited because it is not established upon unconditional love. Okay? Now, bringing all of this to a point, to a head, so to speak. That you can grasp. Understand his story of the wall, of the separation, of the intimidation, of all the energies that needs an iron curtain. I want you to think of an iron curtain as a veil. And I want you to think of a bride, Russia herself, that land, that piece of earth right there, existing under an iron veil. And her dictator, her husband, wants her to stay in that chastity belt and chained all up and just miserable until he's ready to plunder her and please himself upon her without her permission, without her will, regardless of her will. Understand the nature of this entity, of this force, of this patriarchal presence, this male logic that is crazy as fuck, that wants to own the earth, that wants to treat her like a redheaded stepchild, that wants to treat her, that wants to make her its bitch, that wants to make her its whore. Understand what the psychology, the snake that you're dealing with, and what it wants, and what it's saying: you cannot take her away from me. You cannot take her. If I can't have her, ain't nobody have her. I'm gonna blow up the whole fucking world. Understand this mentality. Okay? It's not womantality, it's mentality. Understand where it comes from. It is rooted from a place of self-hatred. It is rooted from that which hates the divine feminine within itself. Understand that. That is the root. Look at the root of stuff. What does he call himself? He calls himself a strong man. What does strong? Oh, I like the strong men. I like the strong. I like the strong men. I like them that can grab a woman by the and hey, cause I'm a star, she likes it. I can grab the earth. I can grab the root. I can do what I want to it. There's a lot that needs to be seen from a spiritual heart, from your spiritual eyes, from your spiritual understanding of the relationship of a mother and a child, the relationship between a man and a woman. All of this is about yourself. All of this is about the marrying and the merging, the identification and the integration of your spirit, which we see as two, masculine and feminine. It's even in our words. Some words are masculine, some words are feminine. But you have to have both to have a language, to communicate. Everything is one, beloveds. And it's time for us to see that. That is the positive aspect of the explosion of the conscious awareness of World War III. To unite the collective. Not to separate, but to unite. And for the collective to then wage war upon the serpent, that which is to kill the root of something, which is your very connection to the spiritual world, which is you, your instincts, your intuition. Everything that war does is to bring you up out of your instinct, your spiritual instincts. Is to separate you, is to bring you more into your human physical aspect of pain, depression, despair, loss. If it can keep you focused, if it can keep you generating that kind of lower vibrations and frequencies, if it can put you in this kind of bubble, this kind of dome, put you behind this iron curtain so that you can't see out the truth of things that are really happening. You only see what's being told to you, what's behind this iron curtain, and you think that that's the entire world and that there is nothing. How do you exist outside of that? Because where you are is the only truth you know. That iron curtain came down. That veil was rent apart. It was rendered. Just like in Jerusalem. Just like when Christ died on the cross. These things are very symbolic, beloveds. They are ancient. They are ancient. They are of the root. They are rooted in you. And ain't nothing I'm saying about black magic, dark magic, scary woo-woo shit, okay? Don't let your mind fuck with you like that. Don't let other people's minds infiltrate you and fuck with you like that. Because that's what's Putin doing right now. Okay? He's trying to get into your mind. He's trying to trap you behind his iron curtain because he believes his roots are stronger than yours. See it for what it is. Know it for what it is. Teach the children about it so they understand. So we stop having these kind of wars, world wars, so that we can come to the rescue of each other when you have these tyrants, when you have these dictators, okay, that want to rape and plunder and make bloody the earth. Understand what you hear from the spiritual scriptures about this raging beast, this dragon, this serpent that fell from heaven, okay? But that can't get to the earth the way it wants to tear it up. Can't do it. Because the earth is a powerful mother spirit. And she got us. But we have to hold on to her. And we have to set that straight. We have to set that entity, that thought form, that kind of thinking straight. If it means you go to war with it, then you go to war with it with what? You go to war with it with peace, baby. You go to war with it with unconditional love and compassion. And you're going to overwhelm it because it don't know what to do with that. Because it is not of that. It does not understand that kind of frequency. That kind of frequency is a virus to it. And so you have to give it a shot of its own medicine, give it an antidote to its poison, and let it cave from within. And I know a lot of the things that I'm saying is a lot, and I did not write it down. I got up out of my bed and I came straight to this. Because there are mothers and children, and the earth itself is being plundered, being hit with missiles created by men who want to go to war, to possess her. Like you can actually claim the earth, spirit. Like you actually have the ability. You wouldn't know what to do with it if you had her. That's obvious. The earth is capable of great abundance. The earth is capable of unlimited essences that have yet to be explored and brought forth from her. And we are so narrow visioned, so blind, that we don't see how bountiful she is. We want to control this aspect of her and that aspect of her and this aspect of her. This part is mine. Over here where all of these minerals is at, this part is mine. This titty over here, this is my titty. Okay? You come over here, it's war. The explosion of conscious awareness is the solution to World War III. You have to be consciously aware of what is taking place, that this being has been born and bred to do what he is doing. He is incapable of not doing it because it's rooted in him and he is drawing from his roots. And he will not be deterred. He will not be deterred from what is coursing through him, from what he has been fed since he incarnated here. And he has incarnated many times, and he is very familiar with the role that he is cast in. And you see it in his smirk. You see it in that smile. You see it in the quietness. You see it in the way I saw it most when there was a meeting and he had Angela Merkel there, and she was deathly afraid of his dogs, and he had his dogs present. He didn't have them somewhere else. He knew she was frightened of those, afraid of those dogs. Watch that. Watch that. Watch his energy. Watch her energy. Because it took pure courage to come there and sit there and say, yeah, I'm afraid, but bitch, I'm here. I'm here. And I'm not here just for me. I'm here for mine, for the children, for the women, for the people. I'm terrified. I'm shaking in my boots. I'm about to pee on myself. But I'm here. I'm here. And I ain't going nowhere. And that's the root that feeds me. And that's the root you got to deal with. and I will not be uprooted. Many look upon the divine feminine aspect and don't understand the strength, the courage, the unconditional love. The divine wisdom. I see you. I see the potential in you. I see the frailty within you. And the frailty outweighs the strength, but I'm here to lift you up and I'm here to help you. And yes, I understand why you keep striking out at me. It's because of your frailty, your vulnerability, and your weakness. And you're afraid of it. But you just don't know that's what strength, true strength, is. That's what giving birth is all about, baby. That's what holding sacred space, being a womb, is. And when you're a spiritual womb, you live in the funk. You understand the funk. You understand there is no getting away from it. You understand there is no washing it away. You understand that that is the chaos that lingers. That says, just like Horton and the Who's, oh, we're here, we're here, we're here. That comes from the ancestors. Coat yourself with it. Don't be afraid of it. That is your essence. And that is what that snake hates most about you, is your essence, is your roots, is that smell. Remember that moment in the Matrix where Agent Smith had Morpheus, and Morpheus was sweating and his eyes was rolling and all of this was going on, and he said, I hate the smell of you. Baby. The essence that he came from, that gave him the strength to be and to resist. Understand what you are observing. Learn to listen from your roots, from your trauma, from your pain, from your compassion, from your humanity. That is why it is your greatest gift. That is why angels guard you and help you, because you have the gift of humanity. You have the gift of expanding conscious awareness and bringing it into material form. And we need to get together as agriculturers and groomsmen and shepherds and understand the earth from that perspective and work with her spirit. And there will be abundance for all. But understand that there are still these snakes that are rooted in their greed, that are rooted in their narcissistic conscious awareness and their reality, that they try to force upon others and imprison you behind an iron curtain. that has to be toppled from outside. Understand what we're seeing, beloveds. Understand what is going on. See Ukraine as that young child bride. Hmm? And see Russia as this old dirty bastard or this old perverted man that wants her, that feels that she is his, and that nobody is gonna take her away, and that he gonna do what he wanna do, and if he don't get to do it, he gonna blast her to smithereens. It's an old narrative, beloveds. It's an old ancient story rooted upon a his story. Observe, see, listen, and know. And know that you have the ability to bring about change. You have the ability to give birth to change. You are a creator. You are a designer. You can deconstruct and you can reconstruct at will, as long as you remain in the cradle and loving arms of universal laws. You got the power, baby. It's been given to you. Know thyself. Know thyself. And there are so many battles that we struggle with and that we walk with daily, 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 daily. But there's none greater than unconditional love and compassion for another and for yourself, for wanting a better world, for wanting a better way, for wanting a healthier frequency, for wanting a healthier spectrum to create from and to be rooted in. But you have to claim it. Because there is that which exists that is contrast, which is polarity that does not want you to attain this, to ascend, to rise up above this. So, beloveds, you have to find it within your roots, within yourself, to rise above those lower frequencies. And you have to be able, this is another thing that Spirit wanted me to make sure of in this message. And that is those who are being blackmailed by these snakes. You need to come to terms with yourself. You need to come to terms with your own humanity. You need to you need to forgive yourself. You need to be able to say, I'm human and I messed up. And once you do that, nobody has anything over you. And if they say, I'm going to tell everybody what you did, you go ahead. I'm human. I'm growing. I piss and shit just like everybody else. You go ahead. Have yourself a funky good time. And if somebody want to judge me from growing and learning and becoming expanding my conscious awareness the way I have to expand it, so be it. Judge me, condemn me. The one without sin, cast the first stone. Go ahead. Go ahead. Knock yourself out. You have to let go because they got you on a leash and a collar for something you did in your lowest, in your root, in your vanity, in your narcissistic, in your wanting to fit in your own weak humanness. Don't let people hold stuff over you. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's homosexual activity. I don't care if what it is. If you are ready to redeem yourself, then baby, speak the truth of it. I was in my lowest point. And at the time it felt good. And it was what it was. But I'm now at a point where I'm ready to let that go and walk away from it. So if somebody want to judge you for that, you tell them to go ahead. You tell them to go ahead. But you don't let nobody collar you, rope you, put you in a corner and say, sit, boo-boo, because I got this on you. Oh, you got that on me? Well, watch this. Blah, 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 blah. I'm telling on myself. Now what you got? What do you got? What do you got? And now that I done told on myself, let me tell on your ass. Since you won't, yeah. Mm-hmm. Take off the layers, baby. Take off the layers of skin that you've put over your spirit, your root, your true self. Because you've made all these skins and these clothes and these fabrics and all of this stuff. All of this stuff. Be butt naked. Be spiritually naked. There's a big difference between being spiritually naked and being the emperor with no clothes on, okay? If you're going to show your ass, do it in the spiritual way. That's the highest way you can do it. From the highest frequency. From the highest, most creative spectrum that there is. Shine. Radiate. Uplift those that need to know that they can rise within themselves. That the only cap, the only roof, the only dome is the one that you allow. Rend that veil. Come through that vagina, that womb, that hole, that black hole. Be reborn into your conscious awareness. Explode upon World War III and kick his ass. Okay? The art of war, know thy enemy. Know what's going on. See what's going on. See that this man, okay, let me ground right now because there's a way that I need to say this. Understand, this man the word I want to say cast, called, invoked, began World War III when he decided to infiltrate the United States electoral governmental process. Okay? When he decided to invade the United States body and fill it with disease and division through Donald Trump, he started World War III. He found his way to launch his attack. That's when his attack began. Okay? And the fact that a black man and a woman, Obama and Hillary, came against him. Ooh, baby, that lit his fire. That set his roots. Ooh. And within himself, that's when he became unhinged. Connect the dots, beloveds. Connect the dots. This is spiritual war. Am I saying that Obama and Hillary and Biden are perfect angels, that they are right, that they are righteous? No, I'm not. I'm saying that they're human beings. But they're human beings that they're not at this level over here. They're at this frequency over here. Okay? And if you have to trust this frequency or that frequency to help lead you and guide you, discernment is needed. You have a choice in your election and electoral processes because we, as United States, are not led by dictators. And we refuse to be. And they can call themselves the old boy network. They can call themselves, what do they call? Woo, all of these oath keepers and patriot this and that and that and this. And they can be black, brown, red, yellow, orange. I don't give a It's a spirit that I see. It's an energy. It's a vibration. And it's one that has been brainwashed. Understand that. Is it their fault? That's your family. That's your friend. That's your baby. That mind got them. That mind has overcome their spiritual roots. And they have to get out of that. And whether it's karmic or whatever, they have to do it. You cannot come and save them up out of there. But what you can do is stand with your collective and know that all of this is going to make it all right. And that it is all coming to a head for rebirth. That's what you're seeing. But you have to actively participate in it if you want it to change. If you don't want to change, guess what, baby? It's going to continue in the cycles and seasons that it's been going in. And it's just going to keep getting worse until it... And then you start all over again from scratch. But the age of Aquarius is about you seeing now. You're being refilled. Temperance. Everything is, you're able to see. You're able to know. You're able to reason more. And that's why we've got this 5G and all of this stuff where you can't think and you can't remember. And what did I get up for? Babies even can't remember their stuff now. We're dumbing down the kids in the classrooms. Okay? You have to understand this beast that you're against doesn't want you to advance. It doesn't want you to advance as a species because it sees your entire species as less than and as unworthy of divine love, of the ability to expand your conscious awareness. It has a case that it's trying to prove. It's losing. It has been losing for a very long time. And it's only got a short time left, beloveds. And you've got to know these things. You've got to sense them within yourself beyond a philosophy, beyond a belief system. You've got to know it spiritually. And that's what you have to empower within you. And you empower that by looking and observing and listening as a conscious being of choice, putting your attention on everything that presents itself in your conscious awareness. And you don't do it from a place of judgment. You do it from a place of unconditional love. And that can only happen if you love yourself. You have to start within your own self, within your own being. Take it from somebody that knows. My mind has beat my ass to the point that I have gained 600 pounds, leg busted open, didn't want to move, had babies, was so numb, was so in my own pain and misery and hurt and trauma that I couldn't even feel theirs, feel them. I didn't have the compassion for my own babies to see them watching me hurting, dying, because I was so trapped behind my iron curtain. Rip that sucker down, baby. Be reborn. Come through that. Come through it. Be reborn. As many times as you need to, you be reborn. You forgive yourself for that root, low life, low vibration shit that you did when you was rolling around in the shit. Get up out of it and rinse yourself off and wash yourself off as many times as you can. And understand that funk, it ain't going nowhere. It's going to always be there. This is a funky world that we live in. The earth itself has so many layers of our shit. So, beloveds, and what's coming to me right now is the beetle from the Egyptian dung beetle, rolling their babies around in the shit and pushing it to the sun, and there you go. They come up out of that. That's their root. They come up out of it into the sun, into the dawn. There is greatness within you as a sovereign being. Each and every one of us. No matter how great or no matter how small. We each have a calling, but we have to hear it. And we have to create from our roots. Stop trying to be like somebody else. That's not it. I don't care if they call you weird. The way they get to blackmailing you and keeping you behind that iron curtain is to design you, is to think for you, is to put you in a group think situation. Well, we're all going this way. We're all going this way. Okay. Nobody question. Well, why are we going that way? What's that way? What's over? Who said we got to go that way? What's over there? I don't know. Everybody's going this way. This is the way we got to go. Quit trying to make you the weird one. Just go this way. No, I ain't going that way. I don't know what's over there. I ain't going. Something in me is saying don't go over there. So I'm gonna listen to that. I ain't going over there. Okay. You can make fun of me. You can say this. You can want to beat my ass for not wanting to go over. I ain't going over there. Okay. That's knowing yourself. That's being rooted in you, in your spiritual essence, in your spiritual will. It's not being better than anybody else. It's not about judgment. So don't let nobody put that into your mind that, oh, you think you better than me. You think you all this. And you think, no, baby, I ain't thinking, I know. That's the difference between us. You think. Okay? I done got past the think. The think, then whoop my ass enough where I know now. Okay? I learned. I know. It's an ongoing process, and I'm always learning. Don't get me wrong. I don't know everything. Baby, I'm the last one to sit up here and tell you I know everything. But I can tell you this. I know more than I knew yesterday. Okay? And so, beloveds, and I'm getting ready to close this down because it has been a joyous release and a revelation. And again, I tell you to understand the powers and principalities that are at war with each other and that have been at war with each other since the earth began, came into form, and life came upon her. Okay? You have the stories of Hades and Persephone. You have all of these things from all of these different cult yours. Cult you ours. Okay? From them, gather the wisdom that resonates with you. Lay it on the table and compare it. This is the same, and that is the same, and that is the same. Well, this is talking about this, and that is talking about. There's no need for war. Everything is everything. And like I say, when you have someone who has been plotting and scheming for the downfall of the world as we know it, who has been studying the divisions among humanity as far as racial, as far as religions, I want you to think about the infiltration that happened with Trump. And I want you to think about this too, beloveds. Okay? All of this World War III stuff is to take the focus off of Trump. Because before this World War III stuff landed the way it did, who was in the news? Who was covered in the news? Who had so many cases going against him? This case and that case and this and that and that and this and this and that. Who was in the spotlight and was on the hot seat? Who raised their hand? Russia, if you can hear me, I'm on the hot seat. I can't take it. I'm almost spill. I'm gonna tell about you. You need to come get me off of here, okay? See, beloveds. See, 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 and know what's going on. See and know what's going on right in front of your eyes. And see and know that there are others that are not going to see, that are not going to hear, no matter what is shown to them. This is the polarity of wisdom. This is the paradox of existence. Understand that as well. Choose the frequency and the side which you want to expand and explore your conscious awareness through. And that make it a conscious choice. Not from the mind, but from your spiritual heart. What calls you? What explodes that passion within you? What touches and clenches your roots? In some of my earliest videos when Donald Trump was running for election, a lot of this knowing came up within me, and I spoke on a lot of it. There are so many legal waters that I'm learning. There's so much of the world play and the stage that has to take place in its own cycle and seasons that I'm learning to be okay with, understanding that from a place of observation, from a place of detachment, to understand and bear witness to I am that I am, taking care of everything. And that gives me peace. I no longer have to, oh, Valerie, you need to do this. Oh, Valerie, you need to say that. Oh, your child not listening to you. Oh, they don't see it. Oh, my goodness. It is what it is. And it's all good, whether it appears that way or not. And I've lived through enough stuff that wasn't good, didn't feel good, to know that all of it is pieces of your puzzle that has to come together to give you the knowledge of I am, that I am. That piece cannot be removed and you still be you. That piece was key and instrumental to you being you because you had to suffer that. And a lot of people say, oh, don't tell people they have to suffer. Ask a mother about giving birth. Ask her about suffering and how long that lasts and the joy of having that baby in her arms after she's given birth and how much that suffering means. Oh, we tell about, boy, I had cesarean section to have you. You better shut up. You don't know what I went through to have you, but ask me to lay on that table again and get cut open again so I can have you. I'm up there every time. Where you want me? That's the unconditional love. That's the root of who I am. And once you know that about yourself, once you connect with that energy, with that source within yourself, you're on your way to rising to your crown chakra. You're rising. You're rising. You're creating a new spiritual spine for your erection, for you to penetrate the earth in a way that you never have before, and to gain her abundance and her blessings unconditionally, because you're at one with her. You're no longer at war with her. You no longer doubt her. Okay, beloveds, that is going to do it for this show. Namaste, and allow the communication, allow the earthiness, allow the vulgarity, allow the beautiful, allow the ugly, allow the images, allow the sounds, allow the frequencies to bring you into balance with your own being. I love us.